y va. Hello everyone! Bienvenue tout le monde pour cet épisode des ESO News Live, for this new episode of the ESO News Live.
So, welcome everybody. First thing I want to mention is don't forget to stick around until a little bit later where we're going to be giving away some Rufus mud crabs. These are quite limited and the only way that you can get them is by entering our giveaway or alternatively by buying a plushie from Zenimax directly. But yeah, stick around for that a little bit later. So the first thing that we want to talk about are some of the new houses, very briefly, on the PTS. So there's 3 new houses on there at the moment. We have Hackfield's High Hall. That's a bit of a mouthful, actually. To get that dungeon, you need to complete both new dungeons on veteran mode and purchase the house with gold, but it will also be available for crowns, but we're unsure of the price as of yet. Obviously you will require the Horns of the Reach DLC either through a crown purchase or subscription. The second house is the Exercised Coven Cottage. Now this is Zenimax or ESO's first seasonal house, and it's going to be released as part of the Witch Festival this Halloween, presumably. To purchase this house for gold, you're also required to achieve or to get an achievement called Unsparing Harvest. We don't know whether it's going to be available for crowns yet. I guess we'll have to wait and see. The last house is Linchel Grand Manor. We suspect that this might be a crown store only manor and possibly a limited one, but we don't know if that's the case yet. It could be available for gold also. Other homes have been data mined at this point, such as the Bear Land home in Cold Harbour. Some of you might have seen that already, but don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel for detailed reviews of every house as they're released.
Alors voilà, bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue. Alors restez bien jusqu'à la fin parce que dans la section questions-réponses, il y aura un giveaway qui est un petit animal de compagnie mud crab que vous ne pouvez obtenir que si vous achetez la plushie, la pluche, ou si vous le recevez dans un giveaway. Donc voilà, alors les premières nouvelles dont nous allons parler, ce sont les 3 nouvelles maisons. Et là je vous montre un petit slideshow avec des images au hasard de ces 3 nouvelles maisons et je vais vous les décrire maintenant. Alors premièrement, il y a le manoir de Oakville, ou plus exactement le château de Oakville. Ces 3 maisons sont en ce moment sur le serveur test, c'est comme ça qu'on a pu les tester, les revoir, etc. et faire les images. Donc, le château de Oakville, c'est un manoir nordique très large que vous pouvez obtenir seulement en ayant accompli les 2 nouveaux donjons vétérans qui arriveront avec Horns of the Reach ou en l'achetant avec des couronnes. La seconde maison, qui est beaucoup plus intéressante à mon avis, c'est le cottage de la congrégation exorcisée. Alors c'est la première fois que Zenimax fait une maison dans le cadre d'un événement saisonnier. Lorsque vous aurez accompli l'achievement ou le succès de cet événement saisonnier qui est le Festival des sorcières, vous aurez l'occasion d'acheter cette petite maison. Alors comme vous pouvez le voir, elle est tout à fait originale. C'est une petite maison de sorcières, comme vous en avez plein parmi Tamriel. Vous avez des Hagraven qui vivent dedans, ou bien des Wires, etc. Et il y a un jardin assez large autour de cette petite maison. La dernière maison qu'on a pu voir sur le serveur test, c'est le grand manoir de Linchal, qui est une maison de style nérédique, donc impérial, qui se trouve sur la Côte d'Or, tout au fond près du mur. Et c'est une très large maison avec de grands jardins un peu style italien Renaissance. C'est très beau. Nous ne savons pas si cette maison, qui est une maison notable, donc la taille d'un manoir, sera en vente exclusivement dans la boutique ou si vous aurez aussi l'occasion de l'acheter d'une façon ou d'une autre en jeu. Nous n'avons pas encore les informations à ce sujet. D'autres maisons aussi data minées, on a déjà pu voir un terrain qui se passerait dans Cold Harbor, un terrain vide qui pourrait être intéressant. Restez bien en contact sur notre chaîne YouTube parce que nous produisons régulièrement des revues sur toutes les nouvelles maisons. Pour l'instant, elles ne sont qu'en anglais, mais je pense les faire aussi en français, en tout cas juste pour les revues des maisons. Je ne l'ai pas encore fait, donc je ne peux pas vous faire de promesses que je ne vais pas tenir, on ne sait jamais, mais c'est quelque chose que j'aimerais bien faire. Voilà.
Thank you. So guys, the first thing we want to talk about, and this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy topic because we want to go into a bit of detail regarding it. And some of you may or may not be aware of this already, but what we want to talk about is Transmog in ESO. Now, just for those who don't know what Transmog is essentially a system to replace the look of a piece of equipment with the appearance of another. Games like World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy all have different methods with their transmog systems. For example, in World of Warcraft, players can only change the look of gear with another of the same type. What I mean is heavy armor for heavy armor, cloth for cloth, etc. Now, in Final Fantasy, you don't have that limitation and you can transmog it into any other piece of armor that you want without restriction. Transmog usually costs in-game currency either by using an NPC or there's some kind of crafting component. Now, Transmog is not a costume system because costumes replace the armor entirely. Transmog essentially changes the look of each piece of equipment independently.
Alors maintenant parlons de la transmogrifique, je sais pas. Les transmogs, je ne sais pas quel est le titre que les francophones donnent à cette action, ça n'a pas d'importance. Qu'est-ce que le transmog? C'est le fait de pouvoir changer le look de votre armure avec une autre armure. Alors il y a beaucoup de MMORPG qui ont ce genre de système, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, Guild Wars 2 et bien d'autres encore. Donc chaque jeu a sa propre façon de faire, et chaque jeu diffère. Par exemple, dans World of Warcraft, ce que vous pouvez faire, c'est récupérer une pièce d'armure et la donner ce look, ce style à l'armure que vous possédez. Mais ça doit absolument rester le même type d'armure, donc armure lourde pour une armure lourde ou armure légère pour une armure légère. Dans Final Fantasy, par contre, c'est différent. Vous pouvez très bien utiliser n'importe quelle pièce d'armure, même des costumes, des maillots de bain, etc. Et vous pouvez changer le look de votre équipement au niveau avec toutes vos stats préférées. Donc par exemple, dans Final Fantasy, l'armure de ma dragoon a été changée à une petite robe. Donc voilà, c'est assez amusant. Donc, il est bien important de faire attention au fait que dans le cadre de Elder Scrolls Online, la transmogrification, ou transmog, ce n'est pas la même chose qu'un costume, puisque le costume remplace complètement, efface, si vous voulez, l'existence de votre armure, du moins esthétiquement. Par contre, avec le transmog, vous allez pouvoir changer votre équipement pièce par pièce, choisir un look pour vos épaulettes, puis choisir un autre pour votre pièce d'armure, par exemple. Le service de transmog, généralement, coûte aussi de l'argent en jeu, que ce soit des pièces d'or que vous payez à un personnage non joueur ou un service d'artisanat, par exemple.
So, you might be wondering why we're talking about Transmog, and that's simply because it's been confirmed that ESO is going to have Transmog. Matt Fearer has confirmed in an interview on the 19th of June that a transmog system is currently being worked on. Now, we don't have any information about the system itself, nor when it's going to be implemented. Transmog is a feature that players have asked for a long time, and most MMORPGs nowadays do have such a system. With this system, players are encouraged to collect equipment for their looks rather than their stats, if they want to complete the perfect outfit. Now, with a system of transmog, players can change the style of each piece of equipment creating something unique and very personal to them. Crafters can already create different looks with motifs, but that only worked on crafted gear, and with a transmog system, players will potentially decide the complete look of all sets, including dungeon items. We do also hope that crafting is going to be involved in the process somehow.
Donc si nous parlons aujourd'hui du système de Transmog, c'est parce que Matt Ferror a déclaré lors d'une interview le 19 juin que Zenimax était en train de travailler sur ce nouveau système. Alors on n'a absolument aucune autre information que cela, on ne sait pas exactement comment le système sera mis en place dans The Elder Scrolls Online, on ne sait pas quand il sera mis à jour et quand est-ce qu'on aura l'occasion d'y jouer. Mais voilà, il travaille dessus et c'est une très bonne nouvelle parce que c'était une des fonctionnalités que les joueurs avaient demandé depuis très très longtemps et que tous les autres MMORPG principaux ont dans leur jeu. Alors, le côté positif d'un système de Transmog, c'est que ça encourage aussi les joueurs à collectionner de l'équipement pour leur look et non pas seulement pour leurs statistiques. Il y a énormément de joueurs, et vous serez très étonnés si c'est quelque chose qui ne vous intéresse pas, qui passent leur temps à essayer de découvrir de nouveaux équipements juste parce que c'est la pièce idéale pour confectionner leurs beaux costumes. Dans le système de Elder Scrolls Online, on espère que cela impliquera l'artisanat, puisque à présent, les artisans peuvent déjà donner un petit peu le look qu'ils veulent en collectionnant des motifs, etc. Ils peuvent choisir le style de leur armure quand ils la confectionnent, mais cela se limite uniquement au set d'armure d'artisanat et pas au set d'armure de donjon. Donc avec un système de Transmog, ce sera la possibilité d'utiliser votre set de donjon préféré et de lui donner exactement le look que vous avez envie, y compris de lui donner un look de bas niveau par exemple. Il y a des joueurs qui apprécient ce genre de choses.
Okay guys, so as some of you are probably aware, there was no ESO Live last week, and there hasn't been a great deal of news released whilst we await the upcoming Update 15,
Nikki,
which
is first player respect.
Oh my god, of course it is, I'm so sorry. I jumped ahead a bit, sorry guys. Yes, player respects, very important. So again, we learned something else from the same interview on the 19th of June, and that is regarding the player respec. It's been confirmed that Zenimax are working to give us the ability to respec a single skill. Now I know players have been asking for this a very long time, and it's going to be a great feature because having to respec all of your morphs just to change one, for example, is both time consuming and pretty annoying. Unfortunately, we don't have any further details on how long until we might see it, or its expected cost.
Il s'agit maintenant de parler d'une nouvelle fonctionnalité sur laquelle Zenimax est aussi en train de travailler pour l'instant. Il s'agit du respect des joueurs. Donc la possibilité de rechanger vos compétences ou les morphes de vos compétences, mais une compétence à la fois au lieu de devoir tout changer. C'est assez ennuyeux, c'est quelque chose dont les joueurs s'étaient plaints régulièrement, de devoir payer une grosse somme d'argent et éliminer tous leurs points de compétence juste pour en changer un talent ou une compétence qu'ils ont envie de changer. Donc cette fonctionnalité sera mise en jeu à un certain moment. On n'a pas d'autres informations en ce qui concerne, mais c'est assez agréable de savoir que Zenimax travaille sur ce genre de projet qui rendront la vie plus agréable et plus facile pour tous les joueurs. Ouais.
Okay. So as I was just saying, there was no ESO Live last week, and we haven't had a great deal of information other than the kind of incremental PTS patch notes that we've had leading up to this next update, which is going to land next week. But the next episode of ESO Live will be on the 18th of August, and Zenimax are going to speak about Battleground and quality of life improvements, which will come with, I think, the base game update, but obviously Battleground stuff will require Morrowind. But meanwhile, there are two blogs on the article that we want to direct you to. The first one is the new Battleground map, Arcane Academy, which is situated in Imperial City. There's several platforms and stairs with teleporters, and some of these can actually transform you into a living bomb, which is kind of interesting. Also, the new game mode, Chaos Ball. So in this mode, you've got to hold a ball as long as possible to gain points. The holder can use abilities, but they cannot drop the ball or pass it to someone else. And the person carrying the ball has a healing and a shield debuff. Not only this, but you also take damage over time for both the ball holder and your surrounding teammates. The second article is generally speaking about quality of life changes to the base game. Things like combat queue settings, where you can customize the color of your combat queues, the ability to bank AP and RIT vouchers, meaning that they can be used account-wide rather than being tied specifically to a character. You've got guild invite history, more guild rank permissions. I think one of the permissions allows your guild members to see or not see how much gold your guild has, for example. And also the ability to cancel research. You still lose the item, but at least you can cancel a research if you decide you don't want to go ahead with it. There's also the ability now to improve equipped items at crafting tables without having to take them off first, so that's really cool as well.
Alors cette semaine, ou la semaine passée, vendredi passé, il était censé y avoir un ESO Live, mais malheureusement, il n'y en a pas eu. Il sera reporté au 18 août. Et dans cet ESO Live, Zenimax va discuter des champs de bataille et des fonctionnalités qui seront introduites avec le nouveau DLC Horns of the Reach. Donc ils seront déjà sortis pour PC et Mac, mais pas encore pour les consoles. Donc, à la place du ESO Live, ils ont quand même publié 2 articles à ce sujet. Alors, le premier décrit en détail ce que vous pouvez vous attendre dans les champs de bataille, à savoir l'université arcanique, la nouvelle map, qui semble très intéressante. Il y a plusieurs étages dans lesquels vous pouvez grimper, donc du volume pour pouvoir tendre des embuscades, etc. Et vous avez aussi des téléporteurs. Alors ces téléporteurs ont la particularité non seulement de vous téléporter d'un point à l'autre sur la map, qui est assez intéressant, mais de temps en temps, ces téléporteurs deviennent rouges et vous donnent un debuff qui vous transforme en bombe vivante, ce qui pourrait être utilisé comme une stratégie pour vaincre l'ennemi dans des cas particuliers. Le nouveau mode de jeu, Chaos Ball, un joueur devra porter la balle le plus longtemps possible pour gagner le plus de points possible pour son équipe. Malheureusement, cette balle aussi donne un debuff à ce joueur, et, il a moins de heal et moins de soins, moins de boucliers, mais également donne des dégâts aux joueurs et à tous les autres joueurs aux alentours. Donc la stratégie dans ce jeu, dans ce mode de jeu différent est unique. Je crois qu'il n'y a pas d'équivalent dans aucun jeu, à moins que je ne sois pas au courant, mais je pense que c'est le premier jeu dont j'entends parler d'un truc pareil. Ça va donner d'autres choses à faire. Par exemple, les tanks et les healers auront peut-être plus d'intérêt à être joués dans ce genre de mode de jeu. Le deuxième article parle des changements de qualité de vie qui seront introduits également dans la mise à jour 15, comme les annonces de combat que vous pourrez maintenant customiser, changer la couleur, etc., ce qui sera très utile pour les daltoniens. Vous avez également la possibilité de stocker vos points d'alliance et vos assignats dans votre banque, ce qui veut dire que maintenant les points d'alliance et les assignats ne sont plus liés au personnage, mais à votre compte, et que vous pouvez les distribuer un petit peu comme bon vous semble entre vos différents personnages. Vous aurez aussi des changements au niveau de la guilde, vous aurez un historique des invitations de guilde, ainsi que de nouvelles permissions. Par exemple, vous aurez la possibilité de cacher le montant des fonds de la guilde, enfin de l'argent de la guilde, afin que certains rangs ne sachent pas ce que vous avez en banque, ce qui peut être très utile pour les guildes marchandes. Ensuite, vous aurez aussi l'annulation de recherche pour l'artisanat. Quand vous annulez une recherche, malheureusement, cela détruit quand même l'objet que vous alliez utiliser pour faire votre recherche. Et ça aussi annule le progrès que vous avez fait. Mais ça vous permet d'annuler une recherche qui peut être très longue pour en trouver une qui est plus profitable pour vous. Le dernier chose pour l'artisanat, c'est l'amélioration des objets que vous avez équipés sur vous, donc vous n'êtes plus obligé de vous déshabiller que pour pouvoir améliorer votre équipement. Voilà.
Okay, guys. Next, we're going to move on to Gamescom. So, the ESO team recently attended Gamescom 2017 in Cologne, in Germany. Lucky attendants got to meet and chat with game director Matt Fuhrer, creative director Rich Lambert, dungeon lead Mike Finnegan, and the community manager Kai Schrober. A whole range of activities took place with details about the upcoming Horns of the Reach DLC, and also even included workshops on dungeons, cosplay, and prop making.
Voilà, prochaine nouvelle. La Gamescom qui aura lieu à Cologne, en Allemagne. Zenimax tient une taverne, la taverne de Elder Scrolls Online, qui sera ouverte le 25 août de 18h à minuit, l'heure de Berlin. Les personnes qui seront présentes, c'est Matt Fuhrer, le Game Director, Rich Lambert, Creative Director, Mike Finnegan, Dungeon Lead, et le Community Manager, Kai Schrober. Ils accueilleront les joueurs, répondront à leurs questions. Il y aura également des petits ateliers, notamment sur le donjon, sur le cosplay et sur la création d'accessoires. Si vous avez envie de participer à cet événement, vous pouvez envoyer un email à community@elderscrollsonline.com afin d'être invité. This is the current start time.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little moment. I need to set up my screen.
So what we're going to do, guys, is just go over some of the Crown Store items that are available. Alwa's going to do this probably in French and English because you can't see my screen, I guess.
Sorry.
It's okay, I like pugs.
Oh, yeah, no, for this I had something else. Sorry, guys. Okay. Here we go. I'm ready. You can start. Nikki?
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know I was doing this. Hang on a second. I gotta get it up on my screen. Okay, guys, so every... Oh, no, we don't. Every is it every week they do the Crown Store preview, or is it bi-weekly? I don't remember. But they do have a Crown Store showcase going right now with some limited items. So we want to talk you through them real quick. So the first one that you can see on screen there is the Ancestral Homage formal gown. This will be available on all platforms starting August 3rd. Obviously for a female character, I'm personally not... I don't like it. What, do you like that, Ella?
Yes, I have it.
You do? Oh yeah, you bought it, yeah. So this second one I have actually bought for my sorcerer, and this is Arvel's Ashland attire. Again, this will be available on all platforms starting August the 3rd. All of these can obviously be dyed as usual within costumes. After that one, we have the Falkreath Thane costume. It will be available on PC and Mac starting August the 14th. And for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on August the 28th. So that will be available from next week onwards. After that, we're going to move on to housing. So as we already know, Horns of the Reach is out next week, which means that Hackbuild's High Hall is going to be available for PC and Mac users starting next week, with it coming for PlayStation and Xbox One on August the 28th. There's also some furniture sets coming with it. In this case, it's going to be the Daedric set of Azura, Now, the data set of Azura will be available on all platforms. This is a limited offer. It's only going to be available from August the 24th to 28th, and it comes with statues, braziers, banners, candles, and a few other pieces that you can see on screen there. On to mounts. The featured mount this time around is going to be the Carthwolf Charger. This is a white wolf with kind of like red blood or paint stripes on there that you can see. It's going to be available for PC and Mac starting August 14th, and for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One from August the 28th. There's also a Chroma Blue Dwarven Spider. Now, you may be familiar with the Dwarven Spider that came out with Morrowind. This is essentially the same mount, with some blue highlights along the top there. This is going to also be a limited offer, only available from August the 31st to September the 4th, so this one's a little bit later, in about 3 weeks or so. There's also going to be a few new pets coming out. We've got the Amber Ash Hopper. Again, most of these are just reskins of existing pets. This is going to be available on all platforms. It's actually already available from August the 3rd. After that, we've got the Carthwolf Shepherd, which is a miniature version of the mount that we just saw. That's going to be coming out next week for PC and Mac, and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One the following week. And lastly, we've got Set's Doverfly, which is going to be available from August 31st to September the 4th. That is also a limited edition. And getting to the end now, in the Style Parlor, there's going to be a new skin, an epidermis skin called Ebony Epidermis Skin. This is also a limited item available from August the 10th, so that's going to be tomorrow, until August the 14th on all platforms.
Alors, désolé pour tout ce petit chipotage, mais c'est pas facile, je gérais plusieurs... Il me faut 3 écrans, ou 4. Alors voilà, nous allons commencer par les costumes. Robe de soirée d'hommage aux ancêtres, qui est disponible sur toutes les plateformes à partir du 3 août, et je la possède déjà. La tenue de Sandresse d'Arvel, aussi disponible à partir du 3 août. C'est la Nikia. Ensuite, le Tan d'Epervine. Alors ce costume, c'est le costume que porte Erika Sholralmor, qui est l'un des personnages de la forteresse d'Epervine, le nouveau donjon de Horns of the Reach. Alors ce déguisement sera disponible pour PC et Mac le 14 août et sur PlayStation et Xbox One le 28 août. Cela correspond évidemment à la sortie de Horns of the Reach. Ensuite, le logement, eh bien, vous aurez la possibilité d'acheter cette maison, le château de Oakville, dont nous avons parlé tout à l'heure. Nous avons montré quelques photos. Il y aura aussi une revue sur notre chaîne YouTube de ce château, d'abord en anglais et puis j'espère en français également. Ensuite, des décorations. Parlons tout de suite de l'ensemble d'Eidric d'Azura, qui est très chouette, je pense, qui est une édition limitée en vente seulement à partir du 24 août jusqu'au 28 août. Ensuite, les montures. Ici, vous avez le destrier loup de cartes qui sera disponible à partir du 14 août sur PC et à partir du 28 août pour PlayStation et Xbox One. Cette monture est aussi disponible dans la version collector du DLC Horns of the Reach. Ensuite, vous avez une monture en édition limitée qui est l'araignée Dwemer, qui est plus ou moins la même que celle qui a déjà été sortie précédemment en version limitée. Mais ici, vous avez un petit changement, c'est que vous avez une petite bordure bleutée. Et ce sera vendu du 31 août au 4 septembre. Donc réservez vos couronnes si vous avez envie de cette monture. Ensuite, c'est des familiers. Ici, vous avez le saut de cendre ambré, qui est déjà en vente à partir du 3 août. Le loup berger de cartes, comme la monture qui ressemble à l'animal de compagnie. Cet animal est également compris dans la version collector de Horns of the Reach. Et ensuite, le dernier petit animal de compagnie, c'est une mouche d'ova de 7, Ça a l'air d'être une construction de Dwemer ou de Sotacil, enfin c'est un truc bizarre. Et c'est en vente de façon limitée du 31 août au 4 septembre, juste pour la rentrée. Et enfin, dans le salon de cosmétiques, vous aurez la possibilité de vous acheter cette peau l'épiderme d'ébène qui sera vendue en édition limitée du 10 au 14 août. Ah ben c'est ce week-end. Voilà, ce week-end si vous avez envie d'avoir une nouvelle peau, c'est l'occasion ou jamais. Et c'est tout pour ceci. Voilà.
Okay, guys, so that wraps up the Crown Store preview for you. We're going to point you in the direction of some articles that you may or may not have missed on the official Elder Scrolls website. The first one that we want to point you towards is the ESO Community Guides, which, as far as I'm aware, I may be wrong, is a new section on the website, and it's a really good section for somebody new starting out in the game, because it literally has guides on everything from getting started to races to DLC to quests, combat, crafting, dyeing, everything. There's a guide for pretty much everything there. It's really useful if you're a new player, so be sure to check that out. The second article is more of a lore article, and it's Meet the Character, Dommihouse the Bloody Horned, which some of you may know is the last boss of the Falkreath Hold dungeon. It's a lot of lore, a lot of backstory into the character. If you're into that kind of thing, that article could be very interesting. And lastly, we want to point you in the direction of the Bloodroot Forge preview, again on the Elder Scrolls website. Some of you preferably will have seen our video going over it instead, but if you want to read an article, then please check that out for more information.
Alors, il y a plusieurs articles qui ont été publiés sur le site web officiel. Alors, le premier, c'est le guide communautaire. Vous avez une liste de tous les guides proposés par des membres de la communauté, donc toutes sortes de choses, que ce soit comment leveler son personnage le plus vite possible, des nouvelles builds, etc. Malheureusement, cette semaine, ou cette fois-ci, ce mois-ci, parce que c'est tous les mois que vous avez ce genre d'articles, il n'y a aucun guide de la communauté francophone. Donc si la communauté francophone produit des vidéos, parce que moi je connais Désastre et Santos Vela, mais il y a certainement d'autres personnes, si vous êtes au courant d'une vidéo que vous avez remarquée, que vous pensez qui est utile, essayez de la promouvoir soit en la partageant directement sur à Zenimax en utilisant le Twitter officiel. Il y a un Twitter pour la communauté francophone, sur Facebook ou par email à community, je l'avais ici, community@elderscrollonline.com, ou éventuellement, si vous ne savez pas trop à qui vous tournez, vous pouvez me la confier et moi je la transmettrai. Voilà, où on en parlera dans ce genre d'épisode également. Le deuxième article, c'est un article de présentation d'un personnage de l'histoire de Horns of the Reach. Il s'agit de la présentation de Dommihouse Corne Sanglante. C'est une petite histoire, c'est très intéressant parce que ça vous donne plus de profondeur à l'histoire qui entoure ce DLC Horns of the Reach. Et le dernier article, c'est la présentation de la Forge de Sans Racine. Donc c'est un article qui explique tout ce que vous allez trouver dans la Forge de Sans Racine, y compris quelques annotations de Mike Finnegan, qui est le créateur de ce donjon. Nous avons aussi produit 2 vidéos revues sur les donjons, sur le DLC Horns of the Reach. Elles sont sorties en anglais en version étendue et en version courte. J'ai aussi commencé la version francophone qui sortira bientôt cette semaine avant de partir en vacances. Donc si vous ne comprenez pas l'anglais, attendez cette vidéo avec impatience, elle arrive bientôt. Voilà.
Okay, guys, so we're going to move on to the community news, and this is a topic that Elwa picked up on the Elder Scrolls forum. I'm going to link you all to it so you can all read it at your leisure, but essentially we find it rather interesting, and it's something we've kind of talked about a lot. It basically surrounds a post by a community member who was recently kicked from his guild along with all other non-Templar healers, simply because the guildmaster felt that Templar was the only viable healer class. The post has garnered a great deal of feedback from both sides of the argument, and the issue mainly seems to be around the idea that Templars should not only be healers, but also resource buffers or aiders, a task that cannot easily be carried out by other classes, although now you do have the necrotic orbs, which do restore some resources. We will give our opinion on this subject in our discussion a little bit later on.
Voilà, j'ai mis le titre bien comme il faut. Donc ici, dans les Community News, nous avons envie de vous partager des choses que nous voyons, soit sur les forums, soit des vidéos, peu importe, des choses produites par la communauté. Et ici, il s'agit d'un post sur le forum officiel général dans la partie anglophone qui discute du fait que les soigneurs doivent être templiers. Il s'agit en fait d'une personne qui a été virée de sa guilde ainsi que tous les autres soigneurs qui n'étaient pas templiers parce que le maître de guilde avait décidé que seuls les templiers avaient le droit de rester dans sa guilde. Donc s'ensuit une longue discussion et un débat entre différents joueurs avec différents points de vue. C'était une discussion intéressante. Il y a beaucoup de personnes qui déclarent que le templier est la seule classe viable en tant que soigneur, pas seulement pour ses soins, mais surtout pour son côté de support avec que ce soit les éclats lumineux, etc. Ils ont des outils différents pour pouvoir soutenir les dégâts de leur team, etc. Il y a d'autres personnes qui expliquent que n'importe quelle classe peut être un très bon soigneur parce que la difficulté du jeu n'est pas nécessaire, n'est pas si grande que pour nécessiter absolument d'être le meilleur. Donc c'est une discussion qui était intéressante dont nous allons parler plus tard dans la discussion. Ce sera en anglais uniquement. Donc voilà, si vous comprenez l'anglais, que vous avez envie de participer, allez voir ce sujet. Sinon, libre à vous d'initier ce même genre de discussion dans le forum francophone.
Okay guys, at this point we like to point you towards some videos, some community videos that we thought were kind of nice. So this week we've picked a video by Crucifer. I'm going to link that in the chat for you guys now. Now this is a series that they've done for quite some time. Where's the link? There it is. Called Welcome to Tamriel. And this one in particular is covering a dungeon in Morrowind, which I cannot for the life of me pronounce. It's a Dwemer dungeon. I won't even try to pronounce it. You can have a look at the video title. But it's a really beautiful and relaxing adventure in one of the Morrowind public dungeons, which is a complex Dwemer ruin. There's no music, but there is atmospheric sound, really nice visuals, and we encourage you to check it out.
Donc voici la vidéo que nous avons envie de vous partager cette semaine. C'est une vidéo faite par le joueur Crucifer et qui produit ce genre de contenu en général sur sa chaîne YouTube. C'est généralement des présentations de montures, de donjons ou de nouveaux costumes, etc. Mais cette vidéo en particulier est vraiment belle parce que vous avez juste le son et de très très belles images. Et c'est 11 minutes comme ça peut être très relaxant. Ça montre vraiment la beauté du jeu. Alors ici vous avez de la musique en background qui est de mon jeu qui est toujours ouvert. J'ai pas réussi à... Enfin voilà, bref. Mais regardez cette vidéo, elle est vraiment très intéressante et il n'y a pas de parole, donc on s'en fout de la langue du joueur, qui est suédois au passage. Voilà.
Okay, so I guess it's on to the Q&A.
Yeah, it's all. Donc maintenant c'est la section questions-réponses. Nous allons donc répondre à vos questions et aussi faire le giveaway.
Yeah, so shall we have the giveaway running whilst we're taking the Q&As?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's just I will go in the screen. And just a second guys, I'm sorry. Here we go. So I just need to move my windows a bit. Here we go. Donc nous y voilà. Si vous avez envie d'un petit mode crabe, c'est le moment. Nous allons laisser ce giveaway pendant toute la durée de la question-réponse. So we will let this giveaway run during the whole time of the question and answer periods, but we need to find a keyword. The keyword will be... Hein, ça va être quoi le mot-clé? Oh yeah, I know what. I will be mean.
Okay, don't forget to increase subscriber luck and not make it case sensitive too.
Okay.
But just to remind you guys, we're giving away a Rufus mud crab. Oh god, that's the word you're going for?
Yeah. Yeah, so the name, donc le nom que vous allez devoir écrire, je vais essayer de le prononcer. I will try to pronounce it. Chuletings. Chuletings.
Is that how it's actually spelled? It might be.
I don't know. It's just my interpretation. C'est juste mon interprétation. Peut-être que ça ne se prononce pas comme ça.
Yeah, that's not how you spell it, but okay.
Yeah, it's how you spell it.
No, there's an F missing from there somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, there's an F after the E and before the T.
Oh, well.
Chulefting.
Okay. This is corrected.
Very close, though.
It's not that? Is it correct now?
Yes, now it is. Now it is. Now it's a
Chuleftings.
Yeah.
Chuleftings. Every morning now you need to start the day. Chuleftings. Hein, tous les matins vous devez commencer votre journée comme ça. Chuleftings.
Okay, so nobody's going to type that in, but I'll type it in just to remind people.
Okay, here we
I
go.
can't even spell it.
It's complicated. It's Dwemer. Hein, c'est compliqué, c'est du Dwemer. C'est normal. Okay, so here we go. This is the Q&A, guys. Just give your question.
You don't need the exclamation mark, Chrominos. Yeah, good work. Yes, so if you have any questions for us, we will try our best to answer them. It could be opinions, it could be anything you like. Oh, we got some people entering. That's nice. So we all didn't really ask a question, but it's something that I want to bring up about the Transmog system. So you see, brought it up. What we don't know at this point is how the system is going to work. Now, one of the things that people asked for is, let's say you've got a dungeon set that you want to transform into a crafted set, for example. And obviously, crafted gear looks different at different levels. People want to know how detailed that's going to be. Can you make a CP160 piece of armor look like a level 1 jerkin from another set? We don't know yet. That's what we're going to find out.
I'm sorry, I didn't really follow up what you said about it. You don't need to repeat it, but I will excuse myself to the French speaker. Je suis désolée, j'ai pas vraiment suivi ce que Nikki a raconté parce que j'étais occupée à changer différentes settings dans le stream. Par contre, je vais réagir sur ce que Weolo a dit. Donc peut-être que je vais enfin pouvoir faire mon équipement ressembler à tout engin conçu. Je pourrais choisir n'importe quel style. En gros, dans le système de Transmog, c'est le fait que vous puissiez vraiment changer chaque item un par un. Donc ici, j'ai un costume, évidemment, donc ça remplace toute mon armure. Mais si j'enlève mon costume, ici, j'enlève mon costume. Vous allez voir à quoi je ressemble, c'est pas terrible. Donc voilà, j'enlève mon costume. Et ça, c'est mon équipement. Donc mon équipement est pas génial. Du coup, ça veut dire que vous pourrez changer vos épaules, vos gants, votre pièce d'armure, etc. Et en fonction de ce que le jeu permet, vous aurez peut-être plus ou moins de liberté. Donc comme j'expliquais auparavant, World of Warcraft est assez limitatif, puisque si vous avez une armure en plaque, vous êtes obligé d'utiliser une autre armure en plaque, tandis qu'un jeu comme Final Fantasy autorise toute la liberté que vous voulez. Vous pouvez même transformer vos armures en rien du tout. Si vous n'avez pas envie de porter des épaulettes, eh bien vous pouvez transformer vos vraies épaulettes en en épaulettes invisibles, comme ça vous ne les voyez pas sur votre armure.
So one of the questions was, how much do you think the house in the Gold Coast will cost? This hasn't been released yet, but I personally think, and maybe Eloa agrees with me here, that it's going to be a limited purchase, probably only available for 4 days. And I also expect that it's going to be in the region of 11 to 15,000 crowns, furnished and unfurnished. On that point, the furnished version is absolutely awful. Don't buy it. If you're going to buy it, don't buy the furnished version unless you want the inside of the house to look like a really bad pub. It's just full of lots of stools and little tables, nothing that you can't craft yourself. There's nothing interesting about the furniture in the furnished version. Do not do it.
Ok, donc la question c'était combien pensez-vous que coûtera la maison dans la Côte d'Or? Alors la réponse est, Niki et moi-même pensons que ce sera une maison en édition limitée en vente uniquement sur la boutique à couronne, comme l'île tropicale. Ça coûtera probablement cher, je dirais plus ou moins 10 000, 15 000 couronnes, quelque chose, c'est là, plutôt 10 000 couronnes. Donc assez cher. Alors il y aura la possibilité évidemment d'acheter la version sans meubles ou la version meublée. Et si vous voulez acheter la maison, non, n'achetez pas la maison meublée. Dans l'état dans lequel elle est sur le serveur test, pour le moment, c'est absolument pas intéressant. Le jardin est déjà meublé de toute façon par quelques arbres, etc. Que vous achetiez la version meublée ou pas meublée, donc ça c'est bien, le jardin il est cool. Mais par contre, l'intérieur de la maison meublée, c'est vraiment n'importe quoi. Vous avez 10 fois le même tapis, des chaises, etc. C'est pas beau. Donc, à moins qu'il change quelque chose, faites attention. Visitez bien le truc avant et suivez-nous sur notre chaîne YouTube puisque nous faisons les revues de ces maisons.
Okay, so Riolo asks, will there be transmog for weapons also? Honestly, we don't know. Basically, the information that we've given you is all we know at this point. I have heard rumors that weapon and shield dyeing, or at least at the very least shield dyeing, is in the works as well. I know that's not transmog, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway. But at this point, we just don't know.
Oh, I saw a quart or a clog passing by. It's just funny. Donc la question était la suivante, est-ce que vous pensez qu'il sera aussi possible de transmog les armes et les boucliers? Et la réponse est, nous ne savons pas. Maintenant, dans la plupart des jeux, c'est tout à fait possible de le faire, donc pourquoi pas. Ça dépendra un petit peu si Zenimax trouve important de garder les armes uniques, mais je ne pense pas, puisqu'on peut les crafter de toute façon. Donc à mon avis, on pourra transformer son arme aussi, toujours en conservant la même arme. Hein. Je pense pas qu'on puisse transformer son épée à 2 mains en arc, par exemple. Yeah, I think it's all. Ah non, il a aussi dit que les teintures des boucliers sont une nouvelle fonctionnalité sur laquelle Zenimax est en train de travailler pour l'instant. There's a question in French, so I will read it.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Hey, que pensez-vous de l'âme noire vigueur? Certaines des meilleures guildes françaises sur One ne les piquent même plus en raid vétéran, trop léger au niveau de la résistance, pas plus de dégâts que certaines autres classes qui tapent sur les mannequins à 45k. Donc tout d'abord, Nicky et moi-même ne sommes pas des théorie crafters, donc on n'est pas des joueurs qui avons une connaissance très approfondie de ce que les classes font. Ça ne nous intéresse pas plus que ça. Juste ce qu'il faut, mais pas trop. Je ne joue personnellement pas de l'âme noire. Ah oui, tu as écrit l'âme noire. D'accord, c'est pour ça que j'étais un peu perdue. Nous ne jouons pas de l'âme noire. Enfin, moi, je ne joue pas de l'âme noire. Niki joue une lame noire. Et nous ne sommes pas dans des guild top, etc. Donc, je ne peux pas répondre à ta question. Par contre, je peux répondre à ta question sur l'attitude d'optimisation qui règne en ce moment sur The Elder Scrolls Online et qui m'exaspère un petit peu. Je pense que quand on veut faire du contenu très compétitif, que ce soit des épreuves vétérans et qu'on veut être en compétition avec des autres guilds sur le classement, à ce moment-là, c'est important de faire attention aux dernières bulles, à ce qui est le plus performant, etc. Mais en dehors de ce cas vraiment très très précis, il n'y a aucune raison de faire chier les gens avec leur build, la classe qu'ils jouent, etc. À partir du moment où tu fais ton travail, c'est-à-dire si tu es un tank, tu encaisses les dégâts, si tu es un damage dealer, tu fais des dégâts et les choses meurent plus ou moins correctement à un rythme plus ou moins correct. Et si tu es un soigneur, tu tiens ton équipe en vie, c'est tout ce qu'il faut. Le reste, c'est vraiment du détail. La difficulté du jeu n'est pas suffisamment intense que pour obliger les gens à optimiser leur personnage. La plupart des gens peuvent venir comme des touristes si tu sais un petit peu jouer, ce sera tout à fait bon. Okay, so that was a good discussion. Omaleneo asked what we think about the Nightblade Stamina, some of the best French guilds on Xbox One don't take them in the reds because they think they don't do enough damage and they are too light in terms of resisting. So I answer, first of all, Nikki and myself, we are not professional, we are not pro players, so we are not theory crafter. Our knowledge of the classes and the spells, etc. is quite limited to what we need to be okayish player.
Yeah.
So we cannot really answer on the detail of this question. I answered related to the optimization, feeling and atmosphere that reign on the Elder Scrolls Online, which irritates me. And I think that besides the veteran trial, when you want to compete with other guilds on the leaderboard, that's the only moment where you need to be careful to what you take in your red. Anything else, you play what you want, as long as you do the job. So if you're tank, you're tanking. If you're healer, you keep your team alive. If you're DPS, you're killing stuff fast enough to be able to do the dungeon in a relatively correct time. Beyond that, it's overkill. You do not need to optimize your character.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll add to that is, as Ella has said, we're not theory crafters, we're not min-maxers, we certainly don't have the best gear or skills, but that said, with the exception of the Morrowind stuff, and I've pretty much done everything on my character, including trials, with the exception of the newer stuff. So you just don't need it unless you want leaderboard stats.
Naibis dit quelque chose. Je viens d'arriver, la teinture de bouclier est-elle partie? Je me souviens nettement de l'avoir fait dans quelque temps dans ISO, mais ça c'est sans doute une erreur de notre part. Zenimax a parlé des armes et les boucliers c'est déjà fait. Je pense pas qu'elle soit partie. So Naibis was asking, is the die for shields gone? Because he has done it recently. So this is a mistake on our own part. The dice system for shield is already in game, but it's the weapon that they are discussing about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, because I wasn't actually aware that shield dying had been implemented already until I read it. So I just assumed that it was on its way. So my bad. If it's already in game, that's great. But weapon dying is still not a thing. I just want to go back a little bit because Pepper, well, first of all, Problematic Fave asked about the blue skin. Ramag answered you already. It is a limited item. It's going to be out tomorrow, but you have to buy it before Monday. It's only going to be available Thursday to Monday. But Pepper said, I hope they bring in the transmog in a form of motif. Now, honestly, it wasn't strictly a question, but I want to comment on it. I think, I hope I'm wrong, but I think what it's going to be involved is, with the glass motifs, you have to buy that 10,000 gold resin from the potion thing to transform 10 glass fragments into a glass motif. I think it'll be something like that. I think you'll have to go to a vendor and purchase some kind of potion or concoction to do it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's something a bit more interesting and more crafting aligned than that, but I somehow feel it won't be.
Donc la question était plutôt une réflexion de la part de Pepper qui disait j'espère que les transmogs seront faits à partir de motifs. Là-dessus, Nikki a dit que son impression c'est que ce sera probablement un système dans lequel vous devrez acheter un item dans un marchand, donc un marchand de personnages non joueurs, pour pouvoir transformer votre équipement, un petit peu comme cela se passe pour le motif de verre. Vous avez plusieurs pages et vous devez acheter une potion très chère pour pouvoir les coller ensemble. Mais notre espoir, c'est que le système soit très lié à l'artisanat et que ce soit, par exemple, un artisan qui transforme de l'équipement à l'aide de ses motifs et peut-être d'un peu de matériel, quelque chose comme ça.
So, on the when I was talking about the Grand Manor and the furnished version, Pepper asked, the furnished stuff, is that applicable for all houses? And the answer to that is no. What I would suggest, if you're looking at buying a home, whether it's furnished or unfurnished, preview the furnished version. The important thing that you need to answer is, does the furnished, generally they're good value. The stuff that you get with them is good value. Only if you're going to use it. So look at the preview, the furnished preview. If it has nice furniture that you intend on using, then yes, it's worth it. If you don't like the furniture, no, it's not.
Donc la question c'est, est-ce que les meubles que vous achetez dans une maison meublée, est-ce qu'ils sont liés seulement à cette maison? Et en fait, non, vous pouvez les utiliser n'importe où. Donc, ce que Nikki expliquait, c'est que quand vous avez l'intention d'acheter une maison avec des couronnes, ayez déjà une prévisualisation de cette maison, allez la visiter, donc virtuellement, et visitez la version meublée. Voyez si les meubles qui sont dans la maison vous intéressent, parce que la valeur marchande de ces meubles est bonne, donc c'est une bonne affaire de toute façon. Par rapport à la valeur marchande. Mais par contre, si c'est des meubles qui vous plaisent pas du tout, ça vaut pas la peine. Si vous n'allez pas les utiliser, pourquoi est-ce que vous allez vous encombrer avec tous ces meubles? Donc, visualisez toujours une maison meublée avant de l'acheter.
Okay, I don't know if there's any more.
No. Last question, guys. Dernière question. Et nous allons conclure avec le giveaway. We will conclude with the giveaway. With the winner.
So if you haven't entered already, type in that horrible dungeon name, Schulefting, to enter the giveaway.
As Welsh, it should be easy for you to pronounce that.
Oh, come on, that doesn't look like Welsh.
No, it doesn't sound like Welsh, but it's as difficult. J'ai dit que ça devait être aussi difficile à prononcer que le gallois, puisque Nikki est gallois.
I'd like to know actually what that translates to. So yeah, if you haven't entered already, type that dungeon name in to get entered into the giveaway for a free Rufus Mud Crab. We have, oh yeah, I didn't mention, we have Mud Crabs for all platforms and all servers. So it doesn't matter if you're console, if you're NA, if you're EU, you can still enter.
Oui, donc nous avons un mode crab pour toutes les plateformes. Donc n'hésitez pas, peu importe que vous soyez un joueur console, un joueur sur le serveur européen ou sur le serveur nord-américain, il n'y a aucun problème.
And just a quick reminder as well, on Friday we're going to be doing an extended stream where we will be giving away 2 full copies of the collector's edition of Morrowind. So that's not the upgrade edition, that's the full version. So if you don't have ESO, it's perfect. And again, we can give those away on any server and any platform apart from PS4 EU. We don't have any of those right now. But Xbox, PC, NA, EU, doesn't matter.
Donc voilà, vendredi, nous avons un stream particulier qui est notre dernier stream avant de partir en vacances pour 10 jours. C'est un stream en anglais par contre. Juste, vous savez, vous pouvez dire bonjour en français évidemment, je vous répondrai, mais c'est grossièrement tout le temps en anglais. Mais voilà, vendredi nous avons un stream particulier et nous offrons 2 versions collector de Morrowind et c'est pour toutes les plateformes, donc sauf PlayStation européenne. Donc ça c'est le seul qu'on n'a pas. Mais donc n'hésitez pas à venir dire bonjour et à tenter votre chance. Le stream commence un peu plus tôt que d'habitude, c'est-à-dire qu'on commence à 20h. So I think it's time. It's time to do the giveaway. Okay, let's go, guys. Taking my right image. Here we are. Ta-da-ta-da. So, guys, I'm going. On y va. C'est parti. Bonne chance. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
Cromonos! Hi! Hurrah! Félicitations!
Okay, Cromonos, if you can let me know, you're on PC EU, right? I mean, I've seen you. So this does mean that I need to get some more PC codes for giving them both away now.
Thank you, Willow, for the cheers. Merci. Thank you so much. Yay.
Okay, I will whisper you with the code. We will be giving more mud crabs away, and like I said, we'll always have mud crabs, hopefully.
Donc, on aura d'autres mud crabs à offrir lors des prochains épisodes. Le prochain épisode sera le 24, le mercredi 24 août. Nous avons décidé de faire les épisodes des ESO News live le mercredi à la place du lundi. Donc c'est un mercredi sur deux. Le prochain, c'est le mercredi 24 août. Voilà. So the next episode is the Wednesday 24. We are starting to do those episodes on the Wednesday and not the Monday anymore.
So Pepper asked who was the previous person who won. Keldair won one on Monday as well.
Okay, so now it's time for the discussion. Oh yeah, first of all. Donc maintenant, c'est le moment de la discussion. Alors nous allons discuter du problème des soigneurs qui se font virer quand ils ne sont pas templiers, mais c'est une discussion qui est en anglais uniquement. Donc si vous ne participez pas, si vous ne restez pas, je vous dis merci beaucoup d'avoir visité, de nous avoir visité, d'avoir regardé, comme j'arrive plus à parler, d'être resté et d'avoir participé. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Prenez soin de vous et on vous verra la prochaine fois. Et aussi, soyez attentifs sur ma chaîne YouTube. Il y aura des vidéos francophones que je suis en train de préparer pour le moment. Donc, elles reviennent. Elles reviennent.
Look what Cromonos is going to call his mud crab.
Oh, nice! Yay! Okay.
So, the discussion. So, I'll link it again just in when I find it, just in case anybody hasn't read it. So, this was essentially a post made by somebody who was kicked out of their guild because he was a healer, but he wasn't a Templar. And basically what the guild's leader or master, whatever you want to call him, was basically saying is, if you haven't got shards or repentance, we don't need you. And yeah, we're gonna discuss that. And
Yeah,
I
and
guess let you know.
feel free to participate and to say what you think about it.
Okay, I guess, do you want to start or do you want me to start? I don't mind.
Well, I'm the one that's playing healer all the time, and the healer I'm playing most of the time is Dragon Knight. So granted, I've never done any veteran trial, so I cannot really say if my Dragon Knight will be viable in that kind of content. I've never done it, and I mostly have never done it because of the organization it takes. I don't think I will be enabled to play it, but I cannot be honest and tell you, yeah, no problem, my Dragon Knight can fill up that role. But for normal trial and for veteran dungeon, including the hard one, there's no problem. It's doing the job.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you in the sense that, you know, certainly for normal dungeons and for pretty much 99% of the normal dungeons, it's just not needed. You can pretty much, as long as you've got a resto staff, you can, and players who know what they're doing, you can get through it. Where I think it differs, or maybe not differs, but becomes a little bit more muddy, are some of the very difficult veteran trials, like the Shadow to Hist kind of stuff, and obviously the later trials, because what you've got to realize is that in order to beat the dungeon, you have to kill everything. So, you know, not your main focus. I mean, you got to keep them alive, of course. You know, without the healer, they're not going to stay alive. But it's very difficult, at least for me. And you know, as we've explained already, we're not super experienced players. But when you've got a lot of enemies or a long sustained fight, resources can be very problematic for a DPS. So whilst I don't think it's absolutely necessary, it certainly would make your life a lot easier.
No, I also think that... where are you, Nikki? Ah, here. Let's go gather some stuff while we're discussing.
Okay.
I think it comes down also to a little bit to what people believe too. Because you could have a Templar healer or a DPS Templar that's providing the resource that people need, while the other healer can be a different class and provide different type of support. Because this is something very important to note. When you're not a Templar, it's not like you come naked. You have other things to bring to the table. When you're a Warden, you have very good stuff, very good tool that will provide some resource back to the players as well. You also have this Untitled spell, which is the sphere. So it is said that the sphere is a little bit harder to grab than the shard, but it provides a very good source of resource as well. So I believe that players might need to adapt a little bit too, and maybe, Now, for the hardest and most competitive content, I have nothing to say because I do not know.
Sorry, I just did a silly. I was sending Kromenos' code, and I sent him a code, and then I thought to myself, oh, no, you can't use that. That's the one we've given away already. So I sent him the other one, and he's like, no, that doesn't work. But the first one I sent him was the one he was supposed to use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been in both situations. Before, obviously when I used to play back in 2014, 2015, and was doing trials daily, veteran trials daily.
No, there was not veteran trial at that time. It was just trial.
Yeah, sorry. Good point. Yeah, like Ethereal Archive and Helra Citadel. We had the two healers that we had with us were always Templar. Now, that wasn't because we insisted they were Templar. That's just generally what the healers were back then, at least. I was playing a Magicka character at that point, so I don't suppose I relied as heavily on them because... Well, I did in a way, because whilst I was running with these groups, what we would use, especially if you were Sork, is like Dark Exchange to swap our health for Magicka. So we'd put the healers under pressure just to get more Magicka back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you don't need to be a Templar for that.
No, you don't. But I'm just trying to explain that even back then, we were kind of in an indirect way relying on healers for resources for a Magicka character.
Anyway, in general, and that comes from every game, anything, or even real life, unless you're doing the most competitive content and you're competing with others you want to win, there's no reason to reject difference, and there's no reason to reject people that try different things. Mm-hmm. So unless if you're a guild leader, you're clearly saying our goal is to be the best. We want to beat Hodor, we want to provide world first or whatever, or we just want to do our best and to climb our way up to the whatever. Then okay, there's a reason to be strict with that. Mm-hmm. And then people, when they apply, they know, okay, well, I know that. They can choose in knowledge, but it's so annoying that so many people, especially uneducated people, they say on the forum, oh, the best build is that, so I must be that. I'm doing normal dungeon, I must be that. I'm doing a veteran easy dungeon, I'm doing veteran fungal grotto, and I'm going to insult the healer because he's not a Templar. What is this mentality? That's where I'm very annoyed. People need to chill out, to relax. It's a game. Okay, if you just want to play with the elitists and trash everything, then you make your own group and you just with your little clique of elitist people together, because that's how you enjoy yourself, and that's fine. You have the right to enjoy that and to be like that, but you cannot accuse other, you cannot be mean with other. Everyone has the right and the freedom to express themselves, to play the way they want, and it is important to be respectful towards each other. So when it's not needed to be hardcore and elitist or min-maxer, then it is unfair to impose it on the face of other. Now, if you have someone that come naked to your dungeon, that's the person that is irrespectful towards you. But it's a different case, you know. It's just being respectful towards each other.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Navis brought up a good point. You're right. If you're a guild leader, it is absolutely your decision on how you want to run your guild. I don't think anybody could reasonably question that. It was more just a general community-focused question on how people feel about Templars in general, running dungeons or whatever. But, you know, one thing I don't think people should complain about, you know, you hear stories of people joining pugs and complaining because their healer isn't a Templar and that kind of thing. It's a pug at the end of the day. I've been in some good ones, I've been in some bad ones. Just because your healer's not a Templar, you know, I'd take a good player over a bad Templar any day, you know?
Yeah, and anyway, you do not need to be the best person to complete those kind of content. Just
no, of course. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, even most of the veteran ones are fairly easy, with a few exceptions. Yeah.
Naibis is saying, I tank with bare feet, so I won't blame a DT to freaking make it. Yeah, okay. But if you all agree and be fine with that, that's fine. After all, it all depends on what you want from the game and how you enjoy it.
Yeah, that's very important too.
Yes.
But you always get this kind of min-max meta kind of attitude in these types of games, it seems. And you know, it's not like we're sitting here thinking, oh, we need to be different. It's not about that. It's just about in how we want to enjoy the game, how we want to play the game, and if other people don't like that, that's fine.
I would like to underline the point that someone has written in a different thread actually, and I find this point very, very interesting, because he said that the min-maxer in the Elder Scrolls Online, there is not a problem to be a min-maxer and to try to optimize and be the best and to have the best performance. It's totally okay. But the min-maxing community has created a disservice, not intently, to the rest of the community. A lot of people, especially new players that have absolutely no idea of how to play the game, they take the advice of the min-maxing community, especially those that provide guides and videos and stuff like that, as the holy grail, as the holy Bible.
The only way to play. Yeah.
Yes, and because of that, especially in PvP, I think this person was saying that people are following the meta, and so you have like a selection of 10 different builds and everyone will go towards that, and this creates a disbalance towards the game. While if people were more imaginative and were exploring different way, there will be a more regulated, natural balance between all players.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, you know, I don't use the term min-max in a derogatory way. It's neither good or bad, it just is. But what did I just saw somebody asking something. Oh, okay. Sash, yeah, I'll answer that in a second. Yeah, inherently there's nothing wrong with being a min. Oh, somebody asked what a min-maxer was. So a min-maxer is essentially somebody who wants to play the most optimal build with the most optimal gear, with the most optimal spells and rotations. It's somebody who wants to do as much damage or the best tanking or best healing that you can possibly do in the game. That's what essentially a min-maxer is. It's not a bad thing. It's something I've experimented with in my early years of playing ESO. Honestly, I just don't have the probably the skill, the capacity, or the patience to kind of keep up with it because it changes pretty much every patch. But for some people, that is the game, you know, chasing that gear, going, you know, constantly chasing that best gear that they want to become the min-maxer. Just want to answer a question really quick from Sash. Hey, is this game worth buying together with Morrowind? We love this game. We've been playing it since alpha and beta, and I can't see it stopping anytime soon. But I wanted to answer it because if you watch our stream on Friday, we'll be giving away 2 full copies of the Morrowind Collector's Edition with the full base game as well. For any platform and any country, even consoles, but that we haven't got any for PlayStation Europe. PlayStation 4 Europe. And Bishop, you do not need the base game to play Morrowind. That's not true. But we'll be giving away both.
Yeah. The thing is that either you buy the upgrade for your game if you already have the base game, or you buy Morrowind together with the base game. You cannot just have Vardenfell and nothing else next to it.
No. Sorry, no. Yeah, I understand. No, there'll be digital collector's editions, but you can have that. That's your word. Hey, by the way.
Hey. Oh, hey. You
Hello.
dirty me again. Yeah, the reason why personally I'm not interested into min-maxing, beside the fact that it takes too much time and too much effort, is the fact that I'm considering myself not optimized in terms of my skills, physical skills.
Yeah.
So to optimize my builds, my gear, my equipment, my spells, my team, make no sense if my reaction, my reflex, my knowledge of the fight is not optimized. And that's not optimized. I do a lot of mistakes. So the 1% that I will win because I've switched that piece of gear to another one, will be so much effort to be wasted away because I will roll dodge in the wrong moment anyway. So I do not ever attempt to min-max my character because of that. I prefer to work on becoming better with crap gear, basically.
There's a part of me that thinks about it, honestly, like, especially, we've got one of the culprits here, especially when I see, like, Inklings and stuff kind of strolling through Veteran Maelstrom Arena and stuff. I think, should I, you know, start going after some of that gear? And but then I think about it, and then I get in game thinking, right, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I realize that grinding dungeons and stuff for the perfect sets is just not me. Doesn't mean to say I won't buy it if I have enough gold, but yeah.
The thing is that you also need to have the goal for doing it. If you are with a guild of people you enjoy, or even you don't, but you're happy there, and your goal is to, you know, being competitive and defeat that boss in that time, and, you know, becoming better and such, then you have the motivation. Yeah, me, why I will optimize my character? I'm only doing veteran dungeon anyway, so.
Yeah, it's absolutely not needed for 99% of the stuff that we do. I think, you know, I don't think we're amazing players, but I think we're capable players. And even with our kind of, I mean, it's not like we have bad gear, but it's just generally crafted sets, maybe not optimal traits and that kind of thing. And even with that, very little content in this game gives us that much trouble.
You're very welcome, Sazad VC. Sorry.
I call it Sasha.
Sasha, yeah, okay. Sasha, you're very welcome. We try to be helpful, and here it's a special show. We are not. This is not the only stream we're doing.
Oh yeah. That's kind of what we're saying, Inklings. We're kind of saying that you don't need optimal builds to do most of the content. What the point I was making is that you know, like your sorcerer build, for example, is obviously superior to mine, and so are your skills, I'd imagine. And you know, sometimes when I'm watching you doing that kind of content with such apparent ease, you know, it makes me think whether I should try and, you know, match your build kind of thing, or, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, regardless of the post, we're going to continue playing it exactly how we want to play.
Yes. Yes, just to have fun, you know. That's what the game is about. To have fun, and every person will have a different version of the fun. What is fun for you might not be fun for someone else. Some people love to kill other in zero deal and play all day long in zero deal. I could not do that, and I'm pretty sure that running around and taking screenshots is not the things for everyone either.
No, and you know, there is one important point to bring up on this now as well. Obviously, Templars have shards and they have repentance, but a recent change to the orbs, which you use now, you've been using them the last couple of days, do also have the ability to restore magicka and stamina, which is a recent change. So you may see people hopefully softening to that, the idea that you have to be a Templar and you have to replenish our stamina, you know, if somebody's prepared to throw some orbs on their bar. But again, they shouldn't be expected to. It should be if they want to. You know?
Yeah, my Templar is now my crafter.
Yeah, Cabbage, who's my Templar, who is a very traditional tempo with spears and repentance. But I kind of like spears. I use spears for damage anyway, even when I'm just on my own. He's very traditional, but he's also really my crafter, who sometimes gets a little action.
Yeah, very rarely. As healer, I have played Templar a lot, and I've been annoyed a lot because I didn't want to use repentance. I used other spells that I personally find more useful, but no, I had... the thing which really annoyed me at that time was I was with a group of people and someone was a little bit pushy, and he really wanted me to take that spell and that spell and that spell and that spell. And so basically I said, okay, but then I need to remove the spell I'm using, usually, that I enjoy to use. And say, yeah, but you know, this spell is not as efficient as that one. And say, okay, but I enjoy to use that spell, it's cool, just like, I like it, it's fun. And so I had to build my character in a certain way that was working for me, and that was doing the job, but it was not traditional. Probably less efficient, but it was still annoying me, because it wanted more DPS, more shard. It didn't need it, it was optimized already. And we were like going through a breeze in the veteran dungeon. What, he wanted to earn 3 more minutes to finish the dungeon or what? And so I just dropped my Templar, I dropped the group too, and I just played my Dragon Knight. So no one was asking me anything, because it was like, what? You don't have repentance? No, I'm a Dragon Knight, so I don't have repentance.
Yeah. See, we also like doing the housing, but honestly, like, we started the Decorating Tamriel series, and we still have grand ideas for it, and lots of things kind of in the works, but we just can't get any time, can we? I mean, there's so many videos and guides and stuff that we want to do for Homestead.
It's like I was saying, things take a lot of time, and if you're not dedicating yourself to just one thing, then you can just not do it properly. It's just not possible.
Yeah, so obviously we both unfortunately, we both unfortunately have day jobs too. So we kind of split the streaming and the YouTube and regular work, and sometimes it doesn't split so well, or not as well as we'd like.
And sometimes
we'll get that.
We need to play to just have fun. Relax. Too, you know. Yeah,
of course.
Just doing whatever we feel like doing at the moment.
So, which brings me on to my next question. What are we going to do now? Are we going to do some dungeons? Do you want to do some more battlegrounds? What do you feel like?
Yeah, well, if we're doing something, then
Uh-huh.
maybe join me so we can say goodbye and conclude.
Okay, yeah, so what we do here, guys, because we upload this to YouTube later. So we're going to split it here. Like, we'll just stop streaming for a second so we can easily split it. Yeah.
So we're wishing you a very good time. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And we will see you the 24th Wednesday 24th August at 21 on live and on YouTube later for the next Eso News Live.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Bye.